All right, Thursday, February 1st, 2024. We're going to see where the art of war takes us today. We're in chapter 7, verse 4. Thus, to take a long and circuitous route after enticing the enemy out of the way, and though starting after him, to contrive to reach the goal before him, shows knowledge of the artifice of deviation. Right, the artifice of deviation. Let's go over to an alternate translation and see in the art of war. Master Sun says, therefore, you make your route a long one, luring them on in hopes of gain. When you set out after others and arrive before them, you know the strategy of making the distant near. Lin says, when the opponent really has but a short way to go, if you can lengthen his road by sending him on a wild goose chase, you can mislead him so that he cannot come to you to fight. Ho Yongqi says, you use a special squad to lure the opponent on a wild goose chase, making it seem as though your main force is far away. Then you send out a surprise attack force that gets there first, even though it sets out last. Controlling the situation. Stay in control of the situation. All right, now we're going to the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. February is about passions and emotions. February 1st, for the hot-headed man. Keep this thought handy when you feel a fit of rage coming on. It isn't manly to be enraged. Rather, gentleness and civility are more human and therefore manlier. A real man doesn't give way to anger and discontent, and such a person has strength, courage, and endurance, unlike the angry and complaining. The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 11.18.5b. I think anger does make you act out when you're desperate and on the ropes, right? It makes you lash out. But someone who's cunning, someone who's using all of these things, knowing the situation, the positioning, you're not going to have those desperation moments because you are going to know what to do. And so that gives you strength. Why do athletes talk trash to each other? Why do they deliberately say offensive and nasty things to their competitors when the refs aren't looking to provoke a reaction? Distracting and angering opponents is an easy way to knock them off their game. Try to remember that when you find yourself getting mad, anger is not impressive or tough, it's a mistake. It's weakness. Depending on what you're doing, it might even be the trap that someone laid for you. Fans and opponents called boxer Joe Louis the ring robot because he was utterly emotional. His cold, calm demeanor was far more terrifying than the crazed look or emotional outburst would have been. Just like that, like stone cold confidence of like, I'm gonna win. I think that's what drives a lot of people crazy. Strength is the ability to maintain a hold of oneself. It's being the person who never gets mad, who cannot be rattled because they are in control of their passions rather than controlled by their passions. And I think that goes just for like a lot of things other than anger itself, any emotion really. You know, if you're not in control of that emotion, then easily you can be swayed by that emotion. And so, as Sun Tzu is saying, to take the long and circuitous route, it's gonna, if you think of when you have an emotion, and the emotion is your enemy, and you're using Sun Tzu not because you're actually fighting somebody, but because you're at war with yourself, knowing the emotions behind it and being able to drag those emotions through the long, circuitous route of logic in order to deviate from having that outburst, right? To contrive to reach the goal before him shows knowledge of the artifice of deviation, right? So you know that these short-term emotions are going to create this deviance in you, this path that you don't want to take. It's going to offer you this route to go that you don't want to, and so you go down that route anyway in your head. You think about it, you plan it, and you let it happen, but you don't let it happen in real life because you let it happen up here and you let it play out, right? And then you take the frame of the veteran, right? Like other guys talk about, if this has happened 100 times, 1,000 times, am I still going to have this angry outburst? Am I still going to have this sadness outburst? Right. So what good does it do? And that's the art of war and standing tall.